My name is Angèle Taylor. I'm a strategic solutions architect here with 4Point. And today on 4Point Pathways, I want to discuss with you the idea that your regulated documents are not the reason for your bad customer experiences. Before we get too deep into this, I want to make sure that when I use the word document, we're all on the same page and we're all thinking about the same thing. So let's go ahead and just define that. So if we look at the definition, a document is a piece of written, printed, or electronic matter that provides information or evidence or that serves as an official record. So let's take that definition and turn it into something that's a little more easy to manage, because that was a lot of words. But essentially, a document is a record of something. It keeps track, it is the official copy for somebody, right? So let's think of some records that we have. The first one that always comes to mind, we're thinking about your 8x11 print forms, things like what you got from the lawyer or from a bank, right? You have to get these forms that say these are the accounts that you just opened up, or when you buy a house, here is all of the legal forms that you need to have for like land ownership and things like that. And that's the document, right? That's the one we normally think of. It's your 8x11 form. But because of this definition, I want you to think more critically about what else is also a document. Because a document, again, is written, it's electronic, and it can be printed. An example I want you to think about is when I go to my mechanic. It's a small mom and pop shop, and they're great, but they're not really technology savvy. They don't print anything out. Everything is handwritten. And I don't know if you've seen these, because I don't go to the big dealerships to get my cars fixed. I go to the mom and pop shop, and what they do is they have a piece of paper that they fill out. And when they fill out this piece of paper, it actually does a carbon copy to the other side. And this document tells us what they did on the car and where other changes need to be done. So if I go in to get my tires changed, for example, they're going to go ahead and say the tires were changed and your brakes, for example, are so much thickness, and that we recommend that you get them changed when you switch your tires over again next, right? That kind of thing. And that piece of paper that they give me, there's now two, right? They have their document that they keep internally that they handwritten, and then they gave us as the owner a document that we get to keep to show that they did work on it and that there were some recommendations. This is still a document, and it's still your 8x11 size. Let's keep going and exploring the idea of what documents can be, and let's look at a receipt. So if we go to like a restaurant and they give us a receipt, the waitress might write it down on a piece of paper, and that's your takeaway order, right? They're going to attach that to the bag. That is your receipt. That is your document that is associated with your order. It's not an 8x11. It is a small little piece of paper that they filled out. If you pay for your meal and you get a print receipt, you get that long piece of paper that gives you the total that you spent and how much you spent. And that has standard fields that exist and some fields that are put in as you go, right? How much you paid, whatever your tip percentage was, and the date. That's all custom data, but everything else is the same. I want to take it one step further. And this might be a little more challenging for people to stay with me, but stay with me on this one. A chart is also a document. The reason a chart is a document is because it is a record of the data that was collected and is represented. So if we have like a bar chart or a pie chart, what we're seeing is the data being represented. This is the record. So if I go ahead and let's say I want to do a survey, I want to know what everybody's favorite color is at 4Point. So I go ahead and I ask everybody, what is your favorite color? And then at the management meeting, I have to do a presentation on, well, the most popular favorite color was not blue. It was actually orange. You think it was blue because 4Point's main colors are blue. The idea here is that the chart is still a record of the data that was captured. And the reason that I'm talking about all these different types of documents and how they can be 8x11 forms, or they can be handwritten, or they could have data pushed into them, or they could be a visual representation. The reason for this, that I want you to think critically about it, is that the data capture portion of it and the actual document are two separate pieces. Typically, people automatically assume that the form and the document, the data capture and the record have to be the same. I want you to know today when you leave that they are different and they do not have to be the same. Just because we do typically use the same document or form to be able to gather the data and to display the data, that does not need to be the case. With that said, I hope you stay tuned for our next video where we're going to be talking about how we can improve data capture. Thank you.